just wanted to go over how I created these Overwatch animations using ChatGPT and the AI tools that are made available now through this groundbreaking image generation tool. I think you've seen all the Studio Ghibli memes out there already, and I thought, why not try this on Overwatch characters? So I'm going to explain some of the challenges that I've kind of faced. And so let's start by going into ChatGPT. So if you look at a lot of these images, a lot of them were created using reference images. And you can see my prompt here. Can you Studio Ghibli style this image? You just upload a reference image, and I would say about 7 out of 10 times it'll work, as long as you don't say any trademark kind of keywords that are kind of being flagged right now, like Overwatch or Pokemon or anything that's kind of trademarked that they can easily detect. It'll usually work if you use a reference image. So this is kind of what I did. I just kind of used the reference images, and you can see some of the results. I think they're absolutely fantastic. It turned out great. And so here's another example. These reference images, by the way, I just got from like YouTube videos, the source filmmaker animations that we've all seen and watched a million times. So here's a picture of a D.Va and Mercy, and I think that turned out amazing. Here's another example of just Mercy as well. Turned out great. Here's another image of Baby D.Va and Lucio. Turned out absolutely fantastic. I can't get over how cool these images are. I don't think AI is really going to take over anybody's job, in my opinion, especially animators or artists, because at the end of the day, it is AI. I think this is great for people who are just fans of like video games or like anime, or want to create stuff and visualize stuff that they can only imagine in their heads. Just like the Overwatch Studio Ghibli crossover it's so cool just seeing it come to life, especially me being a huge fan of this game. Seeing Lucio and Baby D.Va in that style, the anime style, is just like the coolest thing ever for me. Here's an example where it sometimes just doesn't work, and you just have to find better source materials. Sometimes you'll get a lot of fails, but you'll get a lot of really great images. Here's a great image of Brigitte. The funny thing that I found is that once I actually started creating these images, I didn't have to rely on a reference image at all. A lot of times I could actually just prompt something and it would actually generate the image. Like here's an example. I just asked it for an image of Overwatch Mercy checking her phone for text messages. And there, lo and behold, it created it for me. No content policy restrictions. It just created, because sometimes it's hard to find a reference image, for example, of these characters just doing everyday normal things. And so what I ended up doing was kind of just prompting it and asking it, and it delivered. There are some other times where I did use reference photos, but I didn't like the result. So here's an example where, you have this iconic image of Mercy. It was okay, but she looked a little boyish. So after I provided these examples, what I did was just kind of prompt it with a pure text prompt. Hey, image of Overwatch Mercy coming, your rescue to res in Studio Ghibli style. And there it goes. And it came out with a version that was far better than what the reference image generated. Here's another image, pure text prompt, with Tracer and Mercy. Here's another image of, again, a pure text prompt of Genji and Mercy chasing each other in the same style. And here's another image, again, without a reference photo, just pure text. It's able to produce Doomfist, Mercy, and D.Va in this scene that is just kind of imagined by itself. And what's really cool about this is that you can also do other styles as well. And here's an example where, again, for whatever reason, these text prompts just worked without triggering this content policy updates. I asked for an image of Mercy from Overwatch in style of Pokemon anime. And lo and behold, there's Mercy in a Pokemon anime without the content policy being triggered. I'm not exactly sure if it's because I had enough reference stuff in the past. And I've seen even just recently, it's getting a little harder to just do pure text prompts if you have those kind of content trademarked words. The first time it worked, but the second time I asked for an image of Mercy as a Pokemon trainer, it gives the standard response, I couldn't generate that image because the request violates our content policies. And so a lot of times you can just literally try asking again, and ChatGPT will try to kind of say and give you different options like, oh, I can make you a similar type of image. Yeah, would you like to do that? And a lot of times you can just say yes, and it will create an image, maybe not perfect. But what I like to do if I do get denied by ChatGPT, what I'll do is just upload a reference image and just try again. And you can see on this third attempt, it worked. So you just have to be really persistent and use a combination of text prompts and reference images to kind of get what you need. I asked for a image of Mercy on a podcast, and it delivered. It was able to deliver. A lot of times, also as well, another tip is the term Mercy. It doesn't trigger the content policy typically, but the term Overwatch does. And you just use the word Mercy, it automatically knows that Mercy is a character in the video game Overwatch, so it doesn't necessarily trigger the content policy warning. As for the animation itself, I've tried using ChatGPT's Sora video generation tool. Doesn't work very well for anime. It turns anime characters into real life characters, and it's kind of really creepy and weird. The best video generator that I found is actually RunwayML Gen4. And this is what I used for all of the animation generation based off of those key images that I generated using ChatGPT. And it's important that you use Gen 4 because Gen 3, here's a couple examples of Gen 3 being used. And Gen 3 is just not as good. This one, I asked Gen 3 to have a conversation with these characters, but didn't work. As soon as I switched over to Gen 4, it worked out perfectly. One thing to note that RunwayML isn't free. You do have to pay for credits. So it's just one of those things where you do have to pay for it. And one of the first people who actually kind of created these animations was the guy who made the Lord of the Rings trailer in a Studio Ghibli style. He ended up using another AI video generator called Kling AI. And I've tried that as well, but that required credits. Didn't want to pay for Kling AI because the guy apparently had to spend about $250 worth in credits to create that Lord of the Rings trailer. And I'm sure using RunwayML would cost just as much. Just didn't want to pay for another service. But I do believe they do offer some free credits when you first sign up. So you can try it out, see which one works better for you. Here's some more animations. RunwayML did a pretty good job, in my opinion. Very simple. Does cost you a few credits, especially if you're going to do the video generation. I believe you do get some free credits, but if you want to create more than one video, you do have to pay for it. Unfortunately, I think it's anywhere from $15 to $30 a month. I think they even have like $100 plan if you end up using more credits. But it's just one of those things where you have to decide if you want to actually spend money working on these AI videos. For me, I'm just doing it for fun, just to learn how to do this, and I think it turned out great. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how I created the songs for this. So for the songs, I asked ChatGPT basically to create the song lyrics, and it created a really good song. I mean, ChatGPT does great in writing lyrics. Sometimes it does require some modification, but a lot of times you could just use it as is. And the song generator that I use is Suno.ai. This one, you do have to pay for it as well, but that's the software that I use. I think Suno.ai is fantastic. However, there is actually a free music generator called Riffusion, which I recently tried, and it's very comparable to Suno.ai. And the best of all, Riffusion is actually free, and you can go right now and generate songs. All you have to do is click on Create Music, click on Compose, then paste your lyrics. Just go to ChatGPT, copy, go to Riffusion, paste, and just click on generate, and it will generate those songs. It's really that simple. And with those three kind of AI tools, I was able to create this video relatively quickly, very, very simple. It just takes a lot of trial and error, and sometimes it works great, sometimes it doesn't. But that's pretty much it. I think AI is amazing what it can do. It's fun. It's something that I think everyone can do. It's very accessible besides having to pay for credits every once in a while. But I'm gonna probably make some more videos on how to do this stuff. I have some more AI stuff that I've created that I want to show you, and I want to show you how easy it is to make these videos and how fun it is as well. So until next time, bye.